Hello, I am Arjun Lamichhane, and as a future early childhood educator, I'll be critically analyzing the role of various perspectives on education in developing my vision of education. The main question addressed in this presentation is how does historical and contemporary approaches, major theories in the EYLF and NQS frameworks help me to understand children in my professional practice? Rousseau is my choice of historical approach due to his perception. For modern strategy, I have selected Reggio Emilia that focuses on children as effective and active learners. I have considered socio-cultural theory by Bogerse and ecological system theory by Brun von Bernals to examine children's development socially and environmentally. Lastly, I will consider how EYLF and NQS will inform my professional responsibilities and decision making as an ECT. Historical approach of Rousseau. The naturalistic philosophy of Jean-Jacques Rousseau placed the child is naturally good and best able to grow when free to experience the natural stage of growth instead of being encumbered with the strict adult control. Recent scholarship reconsidered the influence of Rousseau in recognizing the significance of developmental preparedness and valuing childhood as a separate stage of life. Critical reflection on such an approach assists me in appreciating children as acting beings that need environments that respect their growth pace instead of seeing behavior as something to be controlled. Rousseau philosophy make me view it is a natural development. This will inform my future pedagogy by helping me to ensure that the environment that I established is conducive to exploration, autonomy and acknowledgement of children and timing of growth. Contemporary approach, Reggio Emilia. Reggio Emilia approach describes a strong image of the modern child as competent, curious, and able to build knowledge by relationship and cohesion. Reggio models students and teachers as co-learners and researchers with children in contrast to traditional model where teacher pass knowledge on to children. The idea of the environment as the third teacher is something that affects me greatly. This makes me wonder that the design of the classroom is not neutral and that influence the way of thinking in identity. As an example, when children are exploring insects in the outdoor area, instead of answering the question, I will write down their questions, offer them magnifying tools and encourage them to discuss them in a group. This promotes investigation as opposed to passive learning. This strategy will reinforce my belief in collaborate and inquire about the central pedagogy as a future early childhood teacher. Bogerse Socio-cultural theory. The social cultural theory introduced by Bogerse focuses on the fact that learning is a process of social interaction and responsible involvement in cultural context. At the heart of this theory lies the zone of proximal development, which refers to the difference between what a child can accumulate on their own and what they can accumulate with assistance. This theory redefines my concept of development not only as an individual concept, but as a social construction. Instead of thinking of mistake as defeat, I now see them as a sign of emergent competence in the ZPD. It educates my practices of observation by promoting me to recognize what support a child requires and not whether a child has successfully reached a milestone or not. In terms of planning, this means designing collaborative activities for the children. For example, during a block building activity, I could model the language of problem solving and gradually withdraw the support as the children's confidence can grow. Brun von Berners ecological systems theory. The ecological system theory by Brun von Berners assists me in realizing that the development of child is not just determined by what happens in the classroom, but also by stratified surroundings that affect their behavior, learning, and identity. The microsystem encompasses direct environments like home and early learning, whereas the mesosystem deals with the relationship amongst the environment like the influence of family, education, teacher relationship on a child in terms of confidence and feeling of belonging. This frame is particularly applicable in the explanations of behavior. As an example, when a child turns withdraw, the theory will make me look further than what I see in the room to include any of the following: family stress, community support, or cultural expectation. It encourages more moral, child-focused judgment as opposed to quick labeling. Frameworks EYLF. The Early Years Learning Framework version 2.0 plus children is the position of competent, interconnected, and active learners. It focuses on belonging, beings, and becoming are very much aligned with the theories and approaches that I have mentioned. The 5 learning outcomes help me to understand development as a whole. Thus, social, emotional, cognitive, and cultural dimensions are not distinct areas, but instead they are combined. Most importantly, the EYLF reinforces my awareness of the fact that curriculum is not about content delivery, but rather purposeful teaching based on relationship. It demands that I observe profoundly, plan responsibly, and appreciate the identities of the children. NQS. This is complemented by the National Qualities Standard that defines professional equitability using 7 quality areas, while the EYLF imports pedagogy that the NQS is a quality practice and ethical responsibility assurance. They all help to strengthen the idea that the work with children is relations and professional tasks. As a future educator, these frameworks will guide my practice based on evidence, reflection, and continuous improvement. In summary, reflecting on Rousseau, Rezo Emilia, Bogartse, Brunfonners, the EYLF, and the NQS has enlightened me on the view of children as competent, interactive, and contextually influential learners. Together, these perceptions encourage me to cease observing the superficial things about children. As an inspiring early childhood educator or teacher, I will realize that I must not just have theoretical knowledge but also professional accountability of children. All these procedures and models will help me to create inclusive, responsive, and morally sensitive learning conditions which help children grow and discover themselves.